Good morning. This is Dr. Gadisa. So we are now in the blood mine of ethics. We are going to discuss the law and the standard of morality. So how can one know whether an act is good or bad? What is the standard to determine the morality of an act? So what is the standard of morality? What are the bases? Any standards must be plain and objective for everyone. To understand, it must be the same to everyone. So the standard of law is not only good for one person but to everybody. So what are the criterion of morality? What is the standard of morality or criterion of goodness and badness of a human acts? So we know very well that if it's human acts, there's a standard taken. But if it's an act of men, this is whatever freedom that a person wants to do for himself. Yun ang tinatawag natin na acts of men. But when we talk of human acts, there's a standard to be followed by the person. So, because the person has, example, the animals has life, the plants has life, but man is the highest animal, it says, because he has the will, he has the spirit, he has the mind and soul. Psychology is the study of soul or mind. Therefore, whatever is the thinking or the mind of the person, considered to be the kind of his soul. So therefore, these two goes together. So all activities of men, such as thinking, willing, loving, are themselves good, provided that they do not uh, in, oppress the body. There are times that the body and the mind conflicts because of the desire. So dito nagkakaroon ng pagkakasala, pagkakamali ang tao because of which one do they follow. Letter A is the criterion, letter B is God will be the criterion or norms. Some people believe that God's will ought to be the immediate or proximate norms of morality. Many believe that the basis for morality is what is God's will in terms of goodness is concerned. So therefore, the person should have that knowledge of the standard and the commandments of God to be able to determine if he's already in the proper way or wrong way. Letter C, is conscience be the criterion of all norms? Is it the basis? Itong conscience? As I've said before, we have two kinds of conscience. We have the true conscience and the false conscience. When we talk of the true conscience, that is purely goodness, that is purely uh, clean, and it's it has really a relationship with God's way or will or commandments. But if we have the false conscience, as I've said, as many people are doing it, we believe that many other people are doing it, so we can also do that. So that is false conscience. So conscience, that depends again to the kind or mentality of the person. And that's the reason why we go back to learn to study so that we will not grow up to become ignorant, and we will be able to determine the proper wisdom, what is right and what is wrong. And then we have also the elements of law. So, what are the elements of law? As I've said, an ordinance for reason is number one, by one who is charge of the community for the common good and promulgated. So the elements of law, it has something to do with the authority who is making the law. The law is defined is an ordinance of reasons promulgated by in charge or leader of the community, or example, who is the barangay captain in the barangay, who is the municipal mayor. So they have also the standard of law to be taken as an ordinance. That's why we have bills, we have law, meron tayong pinapalakad na batas para sinusunod is given by the authority. And then the three kinds of law. We have the eternal law. When we have the third, number one is the eternal law. It has something to do with the God's directs all creatures in the universe to follow the Ten Commandments or the ordinance of God. Number two, the natural law. The natural law, uh, whereby God impresses His mind and will upon creatures through principles intrinsic or natural to them. So, like the plants and the animals, they have natural law to follow, as well as men. And then the positive law, which rules as action freely established by the competent authority in some external and capable and palpable sign. So, this positive law has something to do with the duty of the following the Ten Commandments also as part, and the constituted duly authorized authority. So, in the positive law, this combines the natural and the moral law to be followed as long as it is right. So, that is positive law. Positive, not negative. But the letter F is synderesis, means example is all men wants to be happy. So they don't mind of law. Even even if it's wrong, they follow. Example, if they fall in love with the wrong man who is married, but they follow their feelings, their emotions. That's the worst scenario. They follow their happiness. So that is what we call they cannot really determine what is right and what is wrong. So then letter G is not the natural law is says that do good and avoid evil. So when we do good and avoid the evil, we have to determine what are the different kinds of law of God to determine what is wrong and what is right. There is theories of that regarding the doubt. We have a number one is rigorism. It states that the law obliges until one becomes certain of its non-existence. This means that the doubt arises to the presence of moral obligation. Example, for example, he is doubt if he's going, if it is his obligation to join the military, compulsory, to volunteer, I should say, or to pay his taxes. Yeah. Is it obligated that I should follow? And then equiprobabilisms stated that number two ito, obliges until its ano to, law obliges unless its existence is equally probable. So, person, kailangan pa ba nito ang ano, na kailangan pa ba niya bang sumunod or not? So, nasa kanyang freedom to choose or not. Ganun din sa probabilism, number three is doubt siya kung kailangan niyang sundan. Pero itong laxism, number four is um, kung ayaw naman niyang sumunod at wala namang batas, hindi kailangan niyang sumunod. So, nandun yung mga doubtness. So sa doubtness lang naman, ito yung rigorism, equiprobabilism, ah, probabilism, ganun, laxism. So ito yung doubt lang. Doubt siya kung anong susundan niya, ano ang tama. And then we go to the Ten Commandments. This is the law of God. It really states there that we have to do good and avoid evil. Nowadays, medyo problematic na tayo dun sa law of God, no? Honor your parents and your father and mother. Marami na ngayon ang nagtatanim ng galit sa magulang. So, their respect depends on the relationship. There are times that they also call their parents in their first name. Halimbawa, Olivia. Katawagan nila Olivia yung mother niya. Dante yung tatay niya. So these are now the changes nowadays. Pero hindi bagkus. Hindi tayo dapat magbago. We should maintain the dignity, the decent life. So the Ten Commandments is a law of God. Ito pa yung panahon ni Moises na ginawa ang natural ang Ten Commandments as the universal law of God for everyone. Example yun nga, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not ano, you honor your parents, gano'n. Huwag tayong mag-false witness sa kapwa natin. Marami pang iba. So, life depends on the personality of the person. And that is the reason why I want that we should learn and study the personality because the personality states the whole well-being of the person, inner beauty or outside beauty. And so therefore, ano bang mas mahalaga? Outside beauty or inner beauty? Out of 36 personality, we have only one outside beauty, and that is personal appearance. And we have 36 is 35 aspects. Ayun na yun. Pagiging mabuti natin, affable, benevolence, charitable. Ang hirap, pag hindi mo alam yung 35, ang alam mo sa personality lang ay yung panglabas. And besides, if we are also ignorance of the law, standard law, ng batas, so we have to follow the law of men, the law of the land, and the law of God. So, again, good day, and I hope you understand the topic for today. This is Dr. Elisa. Good day. Thank you.